Hey guys, King back with another video. I'm still working on the angle. I decided to go back to my old angle. I felt like it's a lot better. I don't like to be behind the camera too much. I like to be in front of the camera. This is not a fashion statement at all. I'm wearing these because I'm using my phone to do my videos, and my phone has a very bright flash on it, and it's just completely blinding, so I'm using these as like a defense mechanism. Anyway, as you can tell by the title when you click this video is going to be about top 5 films from my collection personally that I own that the whole world seems to love, but I don't. And doesn't mean that I hate them, just means that I don't feel the same way that the most of the world, or at least the horror fan realm, feels towards these films. I still like them. Obviously I own them. Some of them I bought before I had ever even seen them and found out I didn't like them. Some I already knew I didn't like them, but bought them because they were cheap and I wanted to give them another shot. So this is basically my top 5 list in no particular order whatsoever of the top 5 films that I feel like the whole world really loves, but I just don't really like that much. And the first one is the Blu-ray copy edition of John Landis' American Werewolf in London. Now, when I put this film on, at first I liked it when they're kind of wandering around and they go to the pub and they hear the legend about the wolf and they get attacked. I thought that was pretty good. But after that, I felt like the movie really dragged. There wasn't too much werewolf at all. In the very beginning, you see the wolf quickly when it attacks one of the lead characters, and you know, then you get the transformation in I think when he's at the girl's house, the girl that he's hanging out with or whatever, which is a really good transformation. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was really well done, and I do like the whole thing about his dead buddy coming back and being able to talk to him and sitting with him in the movie theater and all that. I thought that was really cool. I thought that could have been a film on its own, to be perfectly honest, but I don't know, just something about this, to me it just really dragged on. It didn't flow too well. I didn't really pick up any comedy. You know, it says it's like a satire. I didn't really pick up too much of that. You know, I've already gave this one 2 chances. I feel like maybe I should watch it again and watch it by myself, because both times I watched it with other people, and we kind of talked and critiqued it the whole time. Maybe I should sit there and give it a full view. But I know a lot of people talk about this film and they rave about it and they love it, and it's you know, it's definitely a movie that all horror fans definitely need to own. But you know, I just never really liked it that much. You know, I wouldn't say I hated it, like I said, but definitely, you know, during this video, this is all about my opinion. So, you know, but at the same time, if you feel differently, definitely leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about these films. Let me know if you think, you know, I'm completely crazy and completely wrong, and give me reasons. You know, like, we could debate about this. You know, I feel like I'm not alone with this, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people love this film, and I just never really liked it. You know, I only paid about $5 for this at Best Buy, by the way. So that's the first one. The next one I have, another movie that most horror fans at least love, and I just really don't care for, is actually coincidentally another werewolf film from the 80s, and this is The Howling. Now, this is one that I picked up again for super cheap. I believe I picked this up for specs. I really mainly picked it up for the lenticular slipcover. I really like that, and I heard so many good things about it that I figured it, you know, it must be good, must be really good. And this one, to me, it dragged more than American Werewolf in London. It's just real slow, and from what I can remember, I've only seen it about once or twice. I think it's about this this news reporter, this woman, that she's doing a report on a serial killer, and I believe he kills people in like peep shows. So she goes into one of the peep shows, and she has a really traumatic experience running with him. I don't want to kill too much. You know, one thing I didn't say about this one also was I really hated the ending. To go back to this, I really hated the ending. I don't want to talk about, you know, what the ending was. I don't want to kill it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but I definitely did not like the ending of American Werewolf in London. And anyway, so get back to The Howling. You know, like I said, she has a run-in with a serial killer, and you know, she ends up traumatized. So she goes, I think, to this getaway resort type thing with a guy. But the movie doesn't go anywhere, and again, you know, it's a werewolf movie, and there's not a lot of werewolf. And I know it's much more easier to execute that with CG effects, such as in Underworld and other movies these days with the werewolf. And I know that, you know, one thing I learned also from Pumpkinhead is, like, you know, you could have a good looking creature with practical effects, but to make it move fluidly and seem real and seem natural, you know, it's really hard to do that. And you know, I always thought Pumpkinhead looked ridiculous, at least in the first film, when he's walking around or running around. So maybe that's the reason. But at the same time, you know, I felt like the werewolf looked pretty cool, but there wasn't enough of him, and it goes from okay in the beginning, and then just drags and drags and drags, and I really didn't like the characters and the dialogue or anything like that. And then, you know, another stupid ending to this movie, just like American Werewolf in London. You know, I really dislike this one. You know, again, I wouldn't say I hate it. I mean, I do own it. But, you know, horror fans, you know, we do that. We always own or buy movies that we don't even like or we've never even seen. And it says one of the best werewolf movies ever made. I haven't seen too many. They're not one of my favorite subgenres. But, you know, from what I can see, I really don't think, you know, that I would feel the same. I really don't like it. But if you did, and, you know, tell me why. You know, tell me why I should give this film another shot. Now, the next one I have, I don't have the cover art to it. I bought this from a Blockbuster, and the cover art was ruined, so I just got sick of it when I kind of took it off, because I don't care for the film anyway. And it is Paranormal Activity. It's just a blank case. This is Paranormal Activity. You know, when these came out, I really never thought I would actually watch them at all. You know, there's a lot that I just pass on. Due to the fact that this is a paranormal horror. I'm not really into paranormal horror that much. It's not one of my favorite subgenres. But, you know, all the rave about it and people talking about how great it was and how scary it is. And, you know, they were just plastering the TV with the trailer just non-stop and all the people's reactions and stuff like that. And I threw it on. And, you know, this movie's strength is scares. And the scares just didn't land with me. You know, I thought everything was predictable. They show everything in the trailer, you know, anyway. And so since the scares didn't really resonate, and you know, none of the jump scares got me, I just thought it was like a boring documentary. And you know, since they quickly spoofed this, you know, I can never really get that out of my mind. To me, it just seems like a joke. I've actually tried to watch this twice, and I've never been able to get through because I'm just so bored. And I got about halfway through the first time, and then 3/4 the following time, and just decided that, you know, I could use my time more wisely, and I ended up turning it off. So, yeah, I really didn't like this one. You know, I saw the third one in theaters. The third one was okay. They had a little bit more money, a little bit more cast, a little bit more story going on, involving the children and his family. But this one I thought was just really boring. I thought it was stupid. Like I said, I thought it ended up like a documentary, and a really poor one at that. And, you know, it's just, for me, I really dislike this one. Now, the next one I have is really going to start some... should definitely start some debates, you know, because I know a lot of people, this is hands down their favorite horror film. I know a couple of people that I subscribe to personally that this is their all-time favorite horror film. I'm going to go through these a little quick because, you know, these days with my phone I could only make these videos about 15-minute long tops. And I try to get them as short as I can because it usually takes me about 8 hours to upload these. So I'm going to talk a little quick, but yeah, this is definitely going to start some debates on this one. But another movie that I just don't like, I don't care for very much at all, is the original 1974, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I know what you're thinking, oh, if you don't care about it, you know, then why do you have the steelbook? I actually got this really cheap at a Specs before it went out of business for only a couple $. I had actually never seen the movie. I never even got it from Netflix. I always just assumed that I would love it because I love slashers, love Tobe Hooper's other films. And, you know, everybody talks about how great this one is. So I went ahead and just, you know, blind bought the steelbook. And I put it in and I really gave it a shot. I watched it all the way through. And at the end I was wondering, like, what the fuck? Where was the gore, you know? And the argument I always make about this movie is, picture you're a non-horror fan. You've never seen a horror film, you know, ever in your life. And I always tell you, oh, you really got to see this movie Halloween. You know, just with the title, what's going to come into your mind? You're going to think, oh, okay, this is a Halloween-themed film. You know, maybe there's going to be killings, or the killer's going to be Halloween-themed. And if I tell you, oh, you really got to see Dawn of the Dead, what are you going to think? Okay, it's going to probably be zombies or whatever. And then if I tell you, oh, you really need to see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, the name is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Sounds brutal, sounds gruesome, sounds, you know, horrifying. And then you watch it, and it's really not. There's, like, no blood in this. Every time there's a kill, I don't know if that was like a little gimmick they used, or they were low on practical effects and makeup effects. The budget was really low or something, but there's never any gore, and I don't understand how you can name a film the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and skimp on the blood and skimp on the gore. It just doesn't make sense to me. I like the grittiness of it, you know, and yeah, the setting is really creepy, and you know, I can imagine being in that situation. I would be terrified. But as far as a viewer watching it at home, I felt like there should have been a lot of gore, you know. Every time they kill somebody, he hits the guy with the hammer, nothing happens. Puts the girl on the meat hooks, they don't show anything. Cuts the boy up with the chainsaw, and the blood hits the wall or the tree instead. They don't show anything. I mean, is there an uncut version that I'm missing? You know, I really think that, you know, I really thought this would be uncut. Maybe there's an uncut version that I've never seen that I really need to get. But, you know, I just thought this movie was was not extreme enough. You know, just by the title, I wanted it to be raw, and it just wasn't. For me, it just really wasn't. So, all you fans of this film out here, please explain, you know, why I should really give this one another shot. You know, give me a reason, because you know, I love Tobe Hooper, I love his films, but I just felt like this one wasn't all that good. And the last one is really gonna start some shit, I'm assuming. This is one, again, just because I'm showing these doesn't mean I hate them. I don't hate these films. I just don't like them as much as most people. And this is one that I've always felt this way about. I've just really never seen the point of this film. I mean, really never seen the point of why people love this film. I mean, I think it's good, and it's very inspirational how they made this film with such a low budget, and there's, you know, it's very iconic. And I thought the remake was absolutely fantastic, but the original, to me, just some things about it, you know, I just didn't really like. Some things I would have changed, and that is the original 1980s The Evil Dead, and this is by Sam Raimi. And you know, if you don't like his style, you're not gonna like his movies. I like some of his other movies, although this one for me was just a little too slapsticky. And you know, that's their style. That, you know, they continue it in the second Evil Dead as well as in Army of Darkness. Those Army of Darkness I actually rather liked. I liked how they focused more on Bruce Campbell and how they put him back, you know, in back through the past. He traveled through time and all that. And the Deadites was cool, and the Pit Bitch and all that was really nice. But as far as this, I really like the setting. I like the characters. Some good practical effects over the top with the slime and the sludge and the blood and all that nasty stuff. But I thought that there should have been a line a little bit drawn between the comedy and the horror. You know, every horror usually has a little bit of comedy, but I felt like they meshed it too much, so it just comes off kind of like a spoof. And yeah, I just have a big problem with that. You know, it's a little too goofy, a little over the top. And I know that's Bruce Campbell's acting style for the most part, and that's Sam Raimi's directing style. But I just felt like they really should have separated the two, and it would have been a better film. With that being said, you know, like I said, I don't hate it, and I do give it a shot here and there. And I think this is another one that I've never actually sat and watched by myself. Maybe I should sit there and kind of watch it by myself to really take it in without anybody else in the room, and maybe I'll feel differently about it. But this is just another one I've just never really loved. You know, like I said, I felt like they should have separated the comedy and the horror a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, for this to work, the horror needs to be really scary, and the comedy needs to be funny but separated. But I felt like it was too meshed, so to me it was just kind of like a little too much. And you know, yeah, I had fun with it and all that. You know, it was sort of fun, but you know, to me, I'm not really into lowbrow humor that much. And I know this is old and back in the day, but I just still feel the same way about it. And so definitely all you Evil Dead fans that are out there, and I know you're going to say also then, oh, if you don't like it, why do you own the Ultimate Edition? Again, I got this from FYE for $10, and it was only a little bit more than, you know, the standard DVD copy, so I figured why not. And it's got like a lot of cool special features and all that. I actually enjoy the special features. Those are okay, but the film, to me, I really prefer the remake. The remake was just brutal and scary and all that, and I know that wasn't Sam Raimi's you know, initial idea. He wanted to have it like a little bit humorous and slapsticky and all that, because that's his style, and that's totally fine. It's his film, and he did it the way he wanted to, but for me it just didn't work. So yeah, anyway, those are my top 5 horror films that the whole world loves, but I just don't. And so yeah, guys, if you guys are huge fans of these films, definitely drop me a comment why you like them, and why do you think I should give them another shot, and why do you think I should get into them. And if you have any questions for me or any kind of videos you want me to do, you know, drop them in the comment box, and I'll be happy to do them as soon as I'm able to. And definitely give this video a thumbs up, and like it and all that. And please don't hate me. And I'll come back soon with another video. Alright, guys.